Welcome back for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Today, we're heading all the way to Nepal.
Oh, wow.
We'll be exploring the life and wisdom of Dasharath Singh.
I've heard of him.
He lived to be over 100 years old
That's incredible.
and was a respected Ayurvedic healer.
A true expert in his field.
Luckily for us,
Yes.
his family created a commemorative publication all about his life.
That's so thoughtful.
And we're lucky enough to be diving into it today.
Looking forward to it.
It's fascinating because
Yeah.
we're not just talking about a long lifespan,
Right.
but a life rich in purpose and wisdom.
Absolutely.
It gives us a glimpse into traditional Nepalese values
Yeah.
and the principles of Ayurveda.
Such an important system of medicine.
Before we go any further, though,
Sure.
for anyone listening who might not be familiar with Ayurveda,
Yeah,
could you give us a little breakdown?
of course.
What are the basics?
Well,
Yeah.
Ayurveda views health as a balance of mind, body, and spirit. It emphasizes using food as medicine
Interesting.
and herbal remedies,
Okay.
lifestyle practices like yoga and meditation,
Right.
and personalized treatments based on each individual's unique constitution.
So it's really tailored to each person.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So this publication includes something called
Yeah.
Dasharath Singh's 32 Rules for a Simple and Successful Life.
I like that title.
Would you say these rules give us a look into what's considered important in Nepalese culture?
Definitely.
Yeah.
These rules go beyond personal preferences.
Okay.
They show deep cultural values.
I see.
You'll find themes of frugality, resourcefulness, and respect for elders,
Gotcha.
all woven through these rules.
That's so interesting.
The one that stood out to me was
Yeah.
apply mustard oil to your hair while looking in the mirror for confidence.
That one definitely caught my eye, too.
It's a good one.
Mustard oil.
Right.
What's the connection there?
Well, in Ayurveda, mustard oil is believed to have warming and stimulating properties. Applying it to the scalp can improve circulation
Makes sense.
and nourish the hair.
Okay.
But it's more than just physical.
Right.
Looking in the mirror while doing this
Yeah.
is about self-respect and recognizing your worth.
It's like a ritual almost.
It is.
A blend of practicality and self-care.
Exactly.
I love it.
It's a good one.
And speaking of practicality,
Yeah.
some rules emphasize being mindful of how we use things,
Right.
like reuse old pen refills and the careful use of paper.
Interesting.
Are those connected to frugality?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A deep respect for resources
Okay.
and resourcefulness.
Right.
It was essential in a society where material possessions might have been limited.
I can see that.
It's incredibly relevant today,
Yeah.
with so many trying to live more sustainably
Definitely.
and mindfully.
It's like built-in mindfulness, like about consumption. I can see how that resonates with people,
For sure.
especially now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
these rules tie in with simple living.
They do.
But what about health?
Well, the publication goes into specific foods.
Okay.
He recommended good health
Gotcha.
and foods to avoid when feeling unwell.
Interesting.
It highlights food as medicine.
That Ayurvedic principle.
Exactly.
Some of his recommendations are pretty specific, like barley, mung beans,
Okay.
and bottle gourd.
What's the thinking there?
Right.
Each food has specific properties.
According to Ayurveda.
Exactly.
So, for example, bottle gourd,
Yes.
it's considered cooling and soothing,
Right.
perfect for calming inflammation.
And digestive upset.
So it's not just about eating certain things,
Well-
but understanding their effects
Yes.
on your body.
Precisely.
I'm starting to see how food is central in Ayurveda.
It is.
It's incredible.
Food is powerful.
So we've got these rules for living. These specific food recommendations,
Right.
it sounds like Dasharath Singh was a wealth of knowledge.
He sounds like it.
But what was he like as a person?
To answer that,
Yeah.
we need to look at the personal anecdotes
Okay.
and reflections shared by his family.
Gotcha.
They really paint a picture of him.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay.
What kind of stories did they share?
Well, they talk about his dedication to his work. Like,
Yeah.
they even recall how he disliked the electric bell, they used to call him, for meals
Oh, wow.
because it interrupted his flow.
That's pretty serious dedication.
It is.
Makes you wonder if that's another one of those values
Yeah.
reflected in Nepalese culture.
I think so.
A deep respect for one's work.
Definitely a sense of duty,
Right.
commitment,
Yeah.
not just to the task, but to the well-being of the people he served.
Like it went beyond just the job itself.
It did.
It makes me think about
Yeah.
how maybe he preferred a simpler rhythm of life, like a resistance to modern conveniences.
The things that can feel like distractions.
Exactly. There's this poignant story in the publication about two young relatives
Okay.
who sought his help,
Mm-hmm.
but because of circumstances,
Yeah.
he wasn't able to give the support they needed.
I see.
And it really weighed on him,
Wow.
even years later.
That's powerful.
It's heartbreaking.
It is.
But it shows his compassion
Yes.
and sense of responsibility.
Those are highly prized in Nepalese culture.
I could see that.
He wasn't just a healer,
Right.
but a pillar of support.
For his whole community.
It sounds like it.
His legacy goes beyond Ayurveda.
Yeah.
It's about the values he embodied,
Yes.
the way he touched lives.
It's inspiring.
You can feel his family's love and respect
I agree.
in these stories.
Yeah, it shines through.
And that's where the publication itself
Mm-hmm.
becomes so powerful.
How so?
It's a testament to his life,
A way to keep his memory alive
for his family to process their grief.
and ensure his wisdom continues to be passed down
Exactly.
through generations.
It's a beautiful way to honor him.
It is.
It reminds me of the importance of family
Yeah.
and community.
Those that
And they're
resonate.
across cultures.
Absolutely.
We're all interconnected.
We are.
One person's life
Mhm.
can have a ripple effect
Influencing those around them.
and generations to come.
Like a wave.
So
Mm.
the publication also describes Dasharath Singh's last day.
Oh, yeah.
His daughter-in-law gives this vivid picture, talking about how there wasn't a sense of foreboding.
Even though an astrologer had made a prediction,
Right. Interesting.
it felt like any other day.
Until it wasn't.
There's this detail that stuck with me.
What's that?
He urged his son to go to work that morning.
Wow.
Like he didn't want to disrupt his routine.
Even in his final moments.
It's a powerful image.
Thinking of others.
Yeah.
Embodying that selflessness and dedication.
That seemed to define him.
It's heartwarming to hear that despite their grief, his family finds solace in knowing he lived a full life.
And passed away peacefully.
99.
It seems fitting.
Doesn't it?
It does.
Even in his passing,
Yeah.
he remained true to himself.
Peaceful.
Well,
Unburdened.
surrounded by loved ones.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
There's an interesting perspective
What?
from his youngest daughter-in-law,
Okay.
Jala. She talks about how, as a child,
Right.
she admired how his family cared for their elders and hoped to provide that same care one day.
It shows how cultural values are
Yeah.
passed down.
We learn by observing.
The relationships around us,
It's like inheriting values
like inheriting physical traits.
or possessions.
It's fascinating.
It speaks to the cycle of life.
How so?
We learn from those before us.
Yes.
Then we become the caretakers.
For the next generation.
We're all part of this flow.
A continuous flow. And Jala's story reminds us of our responsibility
To carry forward the wisdom
and tradition
that have been passed down to us.
Jala also mentions that she regrets not fully implementing all of her father-in-law's teachings in her own life,
Due to her busy schedule
but wants to incorporate more.
going forward.
I think that resonates with a lot of people.
It
We
does.
get valuable advice,
From those we admire,
but it's not always easy to put it into action.
especially with our busy lives.
Exactly.
It's hard sometimes.
What would it look like to
Yeah.
create space for those teachings?
To really integrate those values
Our routines.
and habits,
It's a powerful
to view those teachings as a legacy,
gift
to be cherished,
and nurtured.
a beautiful way to honor those who came before us.
So
Yeah.
as we start to wrap up
Okay.
our deep dive into Dasharath Singh,
Mm-hmm.
what takeaways stand out to you?
The interconnectedness, how his values were intertwined with Nepalese culture,
Right.
the principles of Ayurveda, his dedication to family and community.
It's all connected.
It is.
Our lives aren't lived in isolation,
Right.
but within this tapestry of relationships and traditions
That's beautiful.
that shapes who we are.
How we navigate the world.
It's inspiring.
It is.
His story encourages us to
Yeah.
slow down, appreciate the simple things,
And live
and value our connections.
with those around us.
It also invites us to think
About what?
our own legacies.
Whoa.
What do we want to pass on?
To future generations?
The knowledge, the values,
Right.
the practices.
It makes you think
It does.
about the Singh family.
Yeah.
Their dedication
Preserving his legacy.
through this publication.
It really makes me wonder What wisdom from your own family or culture would you want to be remembered for?
That's a great question.
We often take for granted those everyday things.
The little things.
The rituals.
The sayings.
The traditions.
Passed down through generations.
Maybe it's a family recipe.
Oh, yeah.
A home remedy.
My grandmother had so many of those.
Or a saying.
Or a core value.
That shaped your upbringing.
It's all part of who we are.
It's a piece of living history.
Connecting us to our past.
Our ancestors.
A treasure.
Worth preserving.
And share.
That the Singh family did.
With their father's wisdom.
It's easy to think that our stories or traditions
aren't significant enough
to be shared.
But they are.
Things.
They can have a ripple effect.
Impacting lives.
For generations.
It's like planting a seed.
You might not see it grow.
Into a tree.
But the potential is there.
Waiting to be nurtured.
And passed on.
So as we wrap up.
Our deep dive.
Into Dasharath Man Singh's life.
And wisdom.
I want to leave you with this.
Okay.
What wisdom
or traditions
could be a part of your legacy?
How can you start sharing those treasures today?
Write them down.
Share them with someone.
Reflect on their meaning.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining us
on this journey to Nepal.
It's been an honor to explore
Dasharath Man Singh's life.
And the lessons he left behind.
Such powerful lessons.
Until next time.
Yes.
Keep seeking.
Keep learning.
Keep sharing.
The wisdom that makes life meaningful.